Joy and jubilation, and of course with SOCA spreading the love right here this morning on the Now Morning Show. Joining us in studio is Sean Singh, Artistic Director, and Stephen Singh, Assistant Director of SOCA. Good morning to both of you and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being with us this morning, and let's get straight into what that video was about. How come, what's going on? Tell us.
I would say basically is the foreigners experiencing Caribbean/Trinidad and Tobago and just enjoying it.
And that's good, because that's what
it's infectious. It's infectious.
It definitely is infectious, and we saw that on screen. Let's go back a little bit as to how we got there. Who is SOCA?
Well, Soul Oasis Cultural Ambassadors, abbreviated SOCA. We started in 2009 out of the, I think it was Chogam. Since then, and we've been slowly building. Myself, Stephen Singh, which is my brother, Miss Mindy Giles, and Mr. Arlington Series, dance directors. We have been in culture for a very long time, and our intent was to make sure that when we start this company, that we meet benchmarks like this. It's all about the youth, and it's all about pushing culture forward. That is the foundation for the Soul Oasis Cultural Ambassadors.
Oh, that's beautiful. And we definitely see that happening, not just on screen, but with some of the achievements that you have now under your belt. Now, Stephen, if you can, I know just a little bit rusty on the throat, but let's bring you into the conversation. Let's talk a little bit about how SOCA ended up at this festival, and what was this festival?
Oh, well, it's the Eisteddfod International Festival in Wales that focuses mainly on folk music and dance in general. At that festival, we would have encountered acts such as Tom Jones, and Pavarotti, who would have headlined the festival in different years. So in seeing or in looking for ways to carry our culture abroad, we would have encountered the festival online and expressed our interest in getting out there. So of course we would have had to submit instances of what we do as a Caribbean culture or as a Caribbean performing company, and we were accepted to come to the festival. So flash forward, this is the second year of us entering the festival, and the first time we entered three categories. Was it three?
Yeah, but just dance.
We entered 3 dance categories. And in entering those categories, we would have won 2 of those categories. So the festival would have reached out to us again to ask us if we were interested in returning. And we decided to expand our horizons a bit because as a performing company, we do all facets of the arts. For everything from Moko Jambi to theater, to music, to dance. We do script writing, screenwriting, we do songwriting. Sean and I would have entered the Calypso competition this year in different facets for the first time and would have made it to the semifinals. So we generally promote that type of cultural identity among the youth.
Right.
And in returning to the festival this year, as I said, we would have intended to expand and broaden what we are able to do. And we were tremendously successful, fortunately, in winning all 5 of the categories that we would have entered.
Excellent.
And that's something to call home about on an international level.
Now, as you mentioned, that particularly winning all those 5 categories, if I'm not mistaken, there's also something quite unique about your participation when it came to entering and winning. So, Sean, can you share with us what that is?
Well, as Trinbagonians, having what we call best village experience.
Right.
Where in best village you have to do everything. Where, let's say Germany would have entered and they just had a dance company entering dance. And then Switzerland would have entered their choirs. Trinidad and Tobago, Soul Oasis Cultural Ambassadors, went with one contingent and entered everything.
Excellent.
So the dancers were singers, the drummers were singers, percussionists, panists, they were in the dancers were in the drumology, the drummers, some of the drummers were dancing. Is literally one theater company just went there with all our abilities and entered, and we won.
And definitely raised the bar, I'm sure, on an international level as well. Extending congratulations to your team. But let's go back now, because one of the things that you would have mentioned is that SOCA started in the time of Chogam.
Yes.
Did you expect when it started then that you would be where you are today?
Honestly?
Honestly.
Yes.
I love the confidence.
Yes, no, the experience we have on the team. We have a lot of success. All of us had a lot of experience touring as well. Ms. Giles is also a lecturer in the University of the West Indies. She teaches there as well, and she's also a teacher. Mr. Serious is extremely experienced. He's what we call the choreographer of Trinidad and Tobago today. He's teaching up probably about 20 companies right now, lending his experience. And of course, myself, Mr. Singh and myself here, also well extended in terms of travel and getting that international experience. And that's what we wanted to bring back. We have the natural talent, you know, but to curve it and mold it, that was our intent. So yeah, we were quite comfortable.
Excellent. And those are the things that we love to see. When you start something, you already know what your goal is and the steps that you're going to take to achieve it, which also, of course, includes a team. You've mentioned some notable names there when it comes to the industry. But in addition to them, how many people are on the SOCA, let's say in the SOCA family, I should say?
Well, you want to take this one?
Well, there's the SOCA immediate family that would have gone on the tour was 55 persons.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. Right. And we have, of course, the extended family, persons who are part of the SOCA team in spirit and in support.
Right.
And that would extend well over probably 100 persons. And the intention behind that is to create a network of people, like-minded people, that help to propel these youths and inspire them. So, for instance, we would consider Mr. Chrison Joseph a part of SOCA. We would consider Mr. Curtis Gross a part of SOCA. May she rest in peace, Ms. Singing Sandra was also a part of SOCA. So we have a lot of notable names that would help to lend credibility to a future in the arts. And this helps to inspire the youths that we work with, because SOCA is primarily made up of youths.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, we're seeing some beautiful images on screen there. This would have come from your most recent trip, is that correct?
Yes, yes it did.
Beautiful. And what was the reception like with the rest of the participants in this festival?
Well, SOCA was the life of the party.
Of course.
Yeah, Trinbagonians, whoop whoop. Because within everything, we just go there to enjoy ourselves. As you would see the faces there. Yes, we are very serious about the craft, but at the same time, we have to make sure that it's very healthy.
That is very important.
It's very important, especially for the youth. All fun, all play, we put it together, and we make sure that we have that balanced experience. That's very important to us.
Now, something else that I'm assuming, of course, is going to be important is when it comes to investment, because it's definitely no easy feat to manage such a large contingent, not just what you would have gone with to Wales, but in general. So what about the involvement when it comes to support? I mean, how do you essentially stay afloat and ensure that you can pour that investment into your members?
Well, I think having the experience and proving ourselves over the years before we went to Wales, we have been recognized tremendously by the ministries, notably the Office of the Prime Minister. They would have assisted us for both years, you know, in a great magnitude, as well as the Sport and Community Development, Ministry of Sport and Community Development, and as well as Tourism and Culture.
Excellent.
All three would have, and of course we had our own personal fundraisers to get things done. Yes.
Excellent, and it's good to see that everybody comes together as well to ensure that it can happen. Because while we see you investing in the youth here in Trinidad and Tobago and showing that this is a way of life, this can be a career or way of life, also extending to outside what is available and what they can get involved in as well. Because as you mentioned, Trinidad and Tobago, it's an infectious community. It is what it is. So once people get a taste of it, they're ready to come back for more. And speaking about more, what can we look forward to with SOCA? Anything coming up that you can share? I see that smile.
Well, I know that Sean is in talks with a different festival that's in Turkey.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And we are also consulting with a festival in Japan.
Wonderful.
So we are looking to take the contingent to various festivals come next year. And we are hoping that the preparation and execution of those preparations are successful. So those are two of the primary things that we'll be working towards for next year, right? And I just wanted to kind of deviate a little bit and say that I know that people are maybe a bit hesitant about how impactful culture is on a young life, but we are testaments to the fact that it can have such a significant impact and redound past generations to positivity within the communities. We work with what are considered hotspot communities, and we encourage and foster not only cultural identity and pride, but focus on education, focus on proper living, and your character.
Correct.
So it's a holistic experience, and it starts from having a sense of who you are as a Trinbagonian person and what you can offer to the world. So I just wanted to say that.
Oh, no, definitely, by all means. And it's beautiful that you can share that, and we share it with Trinidad and Tobago. And we see, I mean, identity is so important, and investment in culture is so important as well. And it's beautiful and it's transformational that you're also able to take it all over the world. So before we go, I would love to hear from both of you. Sean, I'm going to start with you first. How do you see the future of cultural representation, Trinbagonian cultural representation worldwide?
I think that we are on the verge of reinventing what that is, because there was a time Trinbago was all over the world. And for some reason or the other, it kind of quelled a bit.
Yes.
But I think right now it's opening back up, and Trinidad and Tobago is re-identifying itself culturally. You know, we just got our national instrument confirmed that it is the steel pan. And I think we're moving in the right steps to make sure that we are recognized and we get our just due.
Definitely. And Stephen?
Yes. So I think that Sean is absolutely right. I know that it is a topic, a polarizing topic to consider with the state of the country now, because we can't, ignore the impact of crime and so on. But I think that all of that is rooted in the loss of our identity. So in reclaiming that identity, I think we are making steps in the right direction towards the healing of the country. Culture plays a pivotal part in that, because if we don't know who we are, anybody else can tell us who we are, and that's what has been happening. So that's just my thoughts.
Very well said, and very, very true. Well, Sean and Stephen, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
All the best as you continue to fly Trinidad and Tobago's flag throughout the world and impact lives. Have a great day.
Thank you.
You too.
SOCA, you don't want to miss what they are doing, not just here, but throughout the world as well. And you want to stay tuned, because coming up after this break, we've got some entertainment for you.